is just milk that was purposely made sour through a natural process where bacteria thicken the milk and give it its tangy taste. The process is ancient and almost certainly accidental in origin. Somewhere in Central Asia, thousands of years ago, a batch of warm milk likely mixed with natural bacteria in the air, and instead of going bad, it turned into a thick, tangy food that lasted much longer than fresh milk. That discovery, whether it happened in Turkey, the Caucasus, or the steppes of Central Asia, became one of the most enduring food traditions in human history. Plain yogurt is made in a pretty simple way. Milk is first heated, then cooled down to the right temperature, and after that, live bacteria are added. These bacteria feed on the natural sugar in the milk and create lactic acid. The acid makes the milk thicken and creates the sour taste. The longer it sits and ferments, the more tangy and acidic the yogurt becomes. In terms of texture and flavor, plain yogurt sits somewhere between pourable and spoonable, depending on the fat content and how long it sets. Full-fat yogurt is usually smoother and richer in taste, while low-fat yogurt tastes a bit sharper and more sour. The flavor is clean and slightly tangy, which makes it easy to use in different ways. This flexibility is one reason yogurt became common in many food cultures. It did not need special equipment or rare ingredients, just milk, which people already used every day in farming and herding communities. Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is basically regular yogurt that has been strained. The process involves making normal yogurt and then removing a significant portion of the liquid whey. This is done by letting it drip through a cloth or using a fine filter. What is left is much thicker, with more protein, less sugar, and a richer texture than regular yogurt. Even though it's called Greek yogurt, this style of making thick yogurt is not only from Greece. Similar kinds of strained yogurt have been made for a long time in places like the Middle East, the Balkans, and Turkey, just usually under different names. In Greece and Cyprus, this product has been a kitchen staple for generations. It's usually made from sheep or goat milk instead of cow milk, which gives it a deeper and richer taste compared to the common store versions you find around the world today. Sheep milk is naturally higher in fat, which makes it very creamy, and it also has a light earthy taste that comes from what the animals eat and where they live. The Greek yogurt that became popular in North America and Europe in the early 2000s is mostly made from cow milk. Instead of using traditional cloth straining, many factories use machines to filter it. This makes it faster to produce and more uniform, but the taste and texture are usually a bit less rich compared to the traditional version. The texture is thick, dense, and versatile enough for dips like tzatziki or as a substitute for sour cream or cream cheese. And in baking, its acidity and moisture work well with leavening agents. Viili. Viili is a very unique fermented dairy food from Finland and Sweden, which has a special place in Nordic food culture. What makes it stand out is its thick, stretchy, almost stringy texture that some people describe as slippery or a bit slimy. This texture comes from certain natural bacteria that grow in the milk during fermentation. These bacteria produce long chains of natural sugars that turn the milk into a thick, gel-like substance. When you scoop it, it can stretch and pull in long strands, which makes it feel like the yogurt is slowly sticking to the spoon. Traditional Viili also sometimes has a soft white layer on top. This is made by a harmless fungus that grows on the surface and feeds on milk fats. It gives a mild, earthy smell and adds to the traditional flavor. The flavor is mild and lactic, noticeably less sharp than Greek or Bulgarian yogurt. The fat content, typically from whole milk, contributes to a rich mouthfeel that softens the acidity considerably. Finns traditionally eat it plain, or sometimes with sugar and berries. Interestingly, a similar type of stretchy fermented milk is also eaten in parts of Western China, especially among Uyghur communities. Some researchers think the tradition may have spread a long time through cultural contact across northern regions. Lassi. Lassi started in the Punjab region of India and has been around for more than 1,000 years. It's one of the oldest dairy drinks still commonly made today. Unlike many foods on this list, it is not solid. It's a drink made by mixing yogurt with water and blending until smooth. Some people make it thick, others make it more watery, but the idea is always to make it cool and refreshing, especially in hot weather, and it's often served with spicy food. The name lassi likely comes from the old Punjabi or Sanskrit words, and it shows up in very old Indian writings. In the traditional way of making it, yogurt was stirred strongly in a clay pot until it became smooth and drinkable. This process also sometimes separated a bit of butter. The drink could then be made sweet, salty, or lightly spiced depending on the region and taste. The sweet version is mixed with sugar and sometimes flavored with things like rosewater or fruit. This is the one most people around the world know from Indian restaurants. The salty version is more common in everyday life and is often mixed with roasted cumin, black salt, and sometimes mint. Today, there are many modern versions too. Mango lassi is the most popular, made with blended ripe mango and yogurt. There are also richer versions with saffron or pistachio, especially in northern India. Labna. Labna is yogurt that has been strained for a long time until it becomes thick like a soft cheese. It has been a big part of food in the Levant region for thousands of years, and is usually made from cow or goat yogurt